Righto, we've got Smokey here and we are going to start doing some recall, but while I have a chat to you about that, we're going to do some loosely walking, okay? Yes! So he is on his harness. It's not something I typically recommend for loosely walking. It can create a few more challenges, but he seems to be doing pretty well on it. So yes, we can run with that, and you guys obviously bring him in on it, so something you guys are using, so we may as well start doing the training around it too. Essentially what this looks like for me, loosely walking criteria, I've already been through this I think, but yeah, essentially dogs walking in line or behind me. I prefer the dog on my left hand side. Yes, and we can mark and reinforce when he is in that position. He swaps a lot, which is a pretty typical Kelpie thing to do, okay? But as I said, prefer that left-hand side. Yes. So he's on the long line because we're going to start doing some some recall, sorry, and essentially start putting some challenge into that. We're going to put some pressure over it as well. So when he does, or if he does ignore us, we can enforce it. Okay, and it's really important to get these reps in with the long line first. Okay, get some distance. We're talking like a good couple months of practice doing this, because at the end of the day, we want the dog to understand, or at least think, that they haven't got any other option but to comply, I guess you could say. Hey, you bloody breathing that stuff in, hey? Right, so essentially we want him to get distracted. Again, his loosely walking is pretty solid, where he's just pretty focused on being in that position. Again, reinforcement strengthens behaviour, so that's a good thing that he wants to be there. Good. Okay, we can give him a pat for being there as well, but it does make the recall work a little bit more challenging, okay, because he's not as easily distracted. But essentially what we want to do is let him get distracted, okay, and I'm going to try and create some distance between us. But once he is distracted, we want to use his name, okay, so this is where adding value to his name is important, and we can use the same methodology as we used for the yes marker to create value in his name. So same as the yes marker, where we say yes food, right? We just say his name, give him food, say his name, give him food. That way he has that positive response to it. We don't want to use his name in any negative utility, okay? So like, we don't want to rouse on him with his name. We don't want to do any of those things, just because it does create that that negative association. So we can use the is a very important word, and I definitely suggest you use that a lot, but don't go Smokey, that sort of thing. So back to the recall. We want to say his name when he has given us that focus, okay? So when we've loaded it like a yes marker, we get that reflexive response that he's showing to the yes, okay? So when he acknowledges us, that's when we can give him a recall, okay? We don't, if he's off flat chasing a deer or something like that, and we say come without first getting his hearing, okay? So you're saying Smokey, and if he blows Smokey off or his name off, not a huge problem. If he blows a recall off, and again, we wouldn't do the recall unless we had his engagement, but if he blows a recall off and starts practicing that, that's when we really can be really challenged down the track to regain that respect and compliance, I guess you could say. So he's pretty tuned into me and wants to be around me. Again, food reinforcement has helped shape that behavior, but I'm going to use some food to try and get him distracted. Okay, so I'm going to throw food away just to get this Smokey, come! Free! So you could see there, he was off chasing that food. Good boy. All right, good job, buddy. And now we want to go and give him access to that food. Where'd it go? There it is, mate. Hey, and so while he's sniffing that out, oh, did you get it? Yep, you got that one. What about this one? Hey, good job. So while he's sniffing that out, we can, and again, We want to definitely give him that food after the rep because we want him to not figure out that he's actually missing out on that, okay? So what we do is when we recall the dog from something in the environment they might find reinforcing, we have to, if it's safe to do so obviously, we have to give them access to that thing afterwards, after they've recalled. What that teaches the dog is that there is no negative to getting recalled, okay? There's only good things that come from being recalled, which is number one, so they come to us, they get some food, praise, pats, whatever that looks like, but then they get to go on their way and do the thing that they were doing. So that's what most people stuff up. They'll take their dog to a dog park or something like that, or the beach or whatever, and they'll let them run mad and have the best time of their life, and they want to go and they say, Bob, come, and the dog comes, they clip him on the lead, get in the car, go home. And the dog goes, bloody hell, I'm not doing that again, that just means we're going home, right? So we want to be practicing this recall release into the environment. In that environment, like say you're at the beach and you want to, you know, dog's having a great time, every couple of minutes, Bob, come, right? Grab him, good boy, let him go again, right? So he goes, shit, this is good. All I've got to do is go and see mum and dad, they give me a big pat and then I get to go again. And then when you did want to leave that environment, you'd probably, well, I try not to actually use my recall when I'm about to leave, right? So I'll just try and close the space between me and my dog, and then maybe even just crouch down like this, give him a, you know, and then clip him up on the lead and take him. Not use that recall. You can use the name if you want, but just not use that recall command because we don't want any negative association to that recall, okay? So keep going. I'm gonna use some food, throw it away, and recall him back off it. Again, I'll try and create this distance away from me and also so you can see, but it's still in camera shot obviously, right? So just gonna do that. Oh, he's, right. I'm gonna throw this food away. So he goes, Smokey, come! Ah. Free! Right, again, he comes back in. That sit was pretty poor. Like I actually want him to be sitting right into me, but baby steps, hey. Ready? He's starting to get wise to it, obviously. Smokey, come! Free! We can lure him back to this food and throw it all down there so that he gets all that at the same time, right? Simple stuff. Reps are what counts in this. He's just too clever, isn't he? Hey? He knows he's gonna... Smokey, come! Free! See that drive into that food, that's what we want. We want to just be crumbling it off until we do that. Good boy. Good fella. Here you go, mate. Bit more. These reps, again, super simple. I've done enough talking now. I'm probably going to wrap it up, but essentially we just want to... Smokey. Oh. Smokey, come. Free. Good job, buddy. Good boy. So that's that. He's a good little dog. And yeah, if you can practice that every day or every second day, that's fantastic. It only takes, like this has been a long drawn out session. You could do this with his dinner or breakfast. It takes 5 minutes, right? Doesn't have to, and use large quantities of it. Throw a little bit away, let him go and get distracted by it. Give him a wedge out of your hand. All right, so keep it up. As I said, every second day, if not every day. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you can fit in. This is really important relationship stuff. And when we start to obviously use food as motivation as well, that really is just the icing on the cake when it comes to having that level of obedience that you want, where you can take him, you know, out and have him come back at, you know, any circumstance.